Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Center for Practical Spirituality. If you guys are wondering what I'm wearing this shirt, okay? Because we're celebrating our Spurs. If you're wondering what this shirt says, I'm not going to take it all the way up, but it says El Codazo, which means the elbow whenever he went like this. So it's, of course, from the Loteria, and, of course, I had to get it. Anyways, congratulations, Spurs. Now we're going to go ahead. Four more. Just four more. That's it. Four more. Okay? That's what he was kind of saying at the very end. Four more. Four more. Okay? So we're praying. We're uplifting. I'm still not going to watch. I'm not going to any of those little... No. I'm not changing my ways. Okay? I will continue to just, see the... What do they call those? Rerun? No, the highlights. Yeah, that's what Katrina looks at, okay? Katrina just looks at the highlights, okay? And no, I'm not going to go out there, and I'm not going to get into those long lines. No. I encourage all of you to go and do that. Please do. I will be with you in spirit, okay? Anyways, let us go ahead and get started, because here at Center for Practical Spirituality, we get you started so that you can go ahead and just have a wonderful, vivacious, absolutely stupendous week in front of you. God is all, both visible and invisible. One presence, one mind, one power is all. This one that is all is perfect life, perfect love, and perfect substance. I am ever one with this perfect life, perfect love, and perfect substance. And so it is. And so it is. And so what we're going to be actually, touching on is going to be what I know for sure. Surely we know something, correct? It's kind of like in knowing and being in knowingness, you empower yourself. Knowing is empowerment. So, in Mark 11:24, this is what it says. Therefore I tell you, whatever you ask for in prayer, believe that you have received it, and it will be yours. Ooh, honey. So, I'm going to go ahead and kind of touch on that, because one of the things that happens is that when you ask for something, let's say you go to a restaurant and, you put in your order. If you just let it go, all of a sudden, what happens? What you ordered comes and presents itself, and it's given to you. And what we have been invited to do is to simply believe in what we're asking, seeking, and desiring, what we're knocking for, that it is already done. In Ernest Holmes, This Thing Called You, page 34. To realize that God is ever present, ever available, is to know that all the wisdom, intelligence, and power of the universe is right where you are. Your word is power when you know this. Let me repeat this very slowly for everybody. Know that all the wisdom, intelligence, and power of the universe is right where you are. In other words, you know everything that you need to know, even before you need to know it. You simply have to recognize it.
What page was that?
It's going to be on page 64. Yeah, page 64 of Science of Mind. Okay, yes, ma'am. But for this quote, it comes from Ernest Holmes' This Thing Called You, page 34, if that's what you were asking. Okay. So let us go ahead and continue with the reflection. The author went ahead and stated and is giving us a different perspective. I know life is amazing and also can be terrifying. Gosh, do we not know this right now? Lord. I know life is abundant and often there is scarcity. Ooh, Lord. I know there is kindness and goodness, and yet there's also hatred and resentment. I know most of the time life doesn't seem to make sense, and the problems of the world appear to be incredibly overwhelming. Yet, what I know for sure is that there is a power for good, a source of creativity and peace and joy. Whatever you may call this presence, I know it as love. We know it as love, unconditional love. Whatever you may call this presence, it is known as love. I know love is unconditional, everlasting, and ever present. Even in the midst of confusion, sorrow, and pain, I know love is everywhere and in everyone, and I am willing to see beyond the contradictions of the world to see love in every person, including those that we do not agree with. I am willing to see beyond confusion to know the presence of love is at the center of every activity. See, right now what we're doing is we are remembering what we truly desire, and that is unconditional love across the board, not just for the selective few, but across the board. What I know for sure is that you and I are on this amazing journey to know and see love for each other and ourselves. If we are not able to love ourselves, if we are not able to, uplift ourselves, if we are not able to, really respect ourselves and understand our needs and our wants and our desires, then how do we anticipate to be able to understand other people's? See, when you learn to love yourself, to care for yourself, right now, I'm going to tell you, it's kind of like there has been this, oh, well, they're too young. Oh, well, they barely have the experience. Oh, well, it's kind of like all of those are false. Listen to my words. False evidence appearing real. Our prodigy children, there was a 2-year-old little girl. I just saw this. And she was in public and asked this gentleman to play the song, Let It Go, Let It Go. Okay, fine, So the little girl, at the age of 2, started singing the song, Let It Go. And everybody was like, oh wow. Why? Why? Because the impossible becomes possible when you simply believe and you go outside the parameters of that square that you've been placed in. What can I tell you? If you go beyond, if you allow yourself to go beyond the parameters that you've been placed in, all of a sudden, miracles happen. So that's exactly what is happening. They could be young and they are tapping into their intuition. They are tapping into what I know for sure. See, they're doing the visualizations. They see it. They already have experienced it, whatever it is. And then all of a sudden, it comes into being. I know that even in the midst of fear and doubt, our prayers are always answered. Our fears and our doubts are answered, by the way. Today, I'm going to tell you, it's a funny story. I want to go ahead and share this. So this young lady, she had been picking on this other woman quite often. And so I knew for sure that karma was going to come back and going to, bite her in the booty. And so sure enough, it sure did. Today, exactly how she would be talking to that other woman, another woman talked to her. And she didn't like it. Well, then she's sharing this with the chaplain. And as she's sharing this with the chaplain, which is me, I looked at her and I said, oh! I said, so you got a taste of your own medicine. And she just like... I said, you didn't realize that, did you? And she goes, no. I said, you remember how you were telling this other person certain things? I said, now this person has done that. I said, how did you feel? Well, I didn't like it. I said, now you know how that other person felt. I said, so, and so, we continued talking in reference to it, but it was just so comical. Because I asked her, I said, so what kind of karma do you want? She goes, good karma. I said, exactly. So we want good karma. She says, but I had already been nice to that other person. I said, yes. I said, but your dose had not come around yet for you to experience. I said, what you had been doing to that other person. I said, and, it's kind of like, and you place doubt into her heart. She just looked at the whole entire situation from a different perspective. Because what she knew for sure was that she was experiencing, for the first time, she realized that she was experiencing what she had dished out. And that was a hard pill to swallow. So right here it says, our prayers are always answered. And I know that, as Ernest Holmes wrote, prayer is not an act of overcoming God's reluctance, but should be an act of acceptance of his highest willingness. We know, or I know, you are abundantly blessed with God's gifts of love, of joy, and of peace. The question is, are you willing to accept? Are you willing to embrace that which is yours by divine right and birthright, which is love, joy, and peace? Peace that passes understanding. Love that is unconditional. And joy that is at the center of your being. I know the presence of love is at the center of every activity. And so one of the things that we need to understand is that, the activities that are happening right now, what is starting to prevail, what is starting to, really come out and be at the center of everything is love for one and all. We have to be thankful for what is happening right now. Not that just the Spurs won, but thankful for what we see across the world. Because it is doing one thing, and one thing that is absolutely phenomenal. And that is awareness. And also people are rising. And by the way, I'm going to say it out loud. For many years, we have been told one person can't make a difference. Oh, one vote doesn't make a difference. I'm here to tell you that one person can make a difference. See this picture? One person can make a difference. One person's attitude can either make or break an organization. One person's, vision can either make or break. You are the captain of your ship. Speak well. Make sure to execute what you desire. And if what comes forth from what you have executed, you change your mind, it's okay. You can go ahead and say, thank you, universe. I'm going to cancel this order now, and let's start again. And then you correct what you're asking for. Seek, ask, and knock. Seek, ask, and knock. When you seek the truth will be seeking you. When you seek love, love will be seeking you. When you seek fear, fear will be seeking you. When you seek anger, anger will be seeking you. When you seek revenge, revenge will be seeking you. So the invitation today about I know for sure, what we know for sure is that what you dish out is going to come back. So my invitation to you is to be dishing out love, joy, happiness, all of those things. And I'm going to read this part. We are now embracing and going into our feminine era. Femininity is not in reference to, and let me go to it. Hold on. Here we go. Where is it? Feminine energy. And I'm going to be talking about this time and time again. Refers to, in this context, this is not about gender. Femininity is not about gender. Feminine energy, it is about receptivity, intuition, allowing emotional awareness, connection, flow, relational intelligence, inner listening. In other words, inner listening means what? It means to listen to your intuition. Go within. It's also in reference to in the capacity to receive and integrate rather than to force and control. And right now, what's happening? Right now, those that are in power are trying to force and control. And what's actually prevailing? The feminine energy. To actually be in relational intelligence, to do inner work, intuition, and to be focusing on, the sense of alignment instead of forcing it to come to fruition. Alignment. Align yourself. In other words, if you want to be loved or loved and you want to be in a great relationship, become the relationship that you want for yourself. You want joy? Be joy. You want peace? Be peace. Be the Christ. Many times we forget the way, the truth, and the light. The way, the truth, and the light is really saying, be the way, be the light, be the truth. In you living in the light, in living and walking the right way, in being love in action, joy in action, peace in action, all of a sudden, you have a winning team. When you send forth your guardian angels, your guardian, and you say, go before me and make things right. Go into the courthouse and make things right. Go into my work and make things right. Go into my car and make things right. Go before me, wisdom, and make things right. Go before me, integrity, and make things right. Those are the things. You process your emotions instead of suppressing them. In other words, you talk. It's kind of like, when Wimbyama went ahead and did one thing and one thing only, and he was being criticized about it. And it was that he cried. He cried. He was emotional. Oh my God. And I was proud of him because he was expressing his true gratitude to the universe. Redemption of body and earth is something that we're being invited to do. Truth is the redeemer that saves our thoughts from error. Once again, truth. And the truth shall set you free. And right now, the truth can be kind of shady. But if you seek the truth, you embrace the truth, and you are the truth, integrity will be at the center of your being. And even if no one is watching, you're still going to do the right thing. And so here it says, saves our thoughts from ever. Body and earth are thus redeemed from our false conceptions. False conceptions. Our life and one substance fill all. Fill soul and body. We now see perfect unity between the invisible and the visible. Unto the pure, all things are pure. Unto the pure, all things are pure. And so in Ephesians 2:14, it says, for he is our peace. He hath made me both one, and hath broken down the middle wall of partition. The temple of God is holy. Which temple are you? 1 Corinthians 3:17. So let's talk about that. Let's talk about what this one young man does before a game. Anybody know? What does he do? What does he do? What does he do? One, he's reading a book. And then two, he's done what? He's tapped within. Whenever he had his body was speaking to him and he got sick, okay? Did he go to Western medicine? Well, he probably did. That's how they found out what was going on. But then he did what? He went to a Buddhist temple. What did he do for 2 weeks? He went within. And he tapped into source. He tapped into truth. He tapped into the Christ consciousness. He tapped into the Buddha mind. He tapped into the creator of all. And then he let go of that fear. He let go of his resentment. He let go of his insecurities. He let go of all those things that were no longer serving him. And when he came home, he was renewed. But he also knew that to do the impossible, he had to go into the impossible, which is really, if you put that little apostrophe, it says, I'm possible. So going into the impossible really means that you're tapping into the what? I'm possible. And he is possible. So what he's showing us is what the Christ consciousness is showing us. That we are the way. We are the truth. We are the light in expression. We are actually moving forward, and we're doing exactly what we need to do. And we are, what we know for sure is that we are the ones that are leading others so that they themselves can be leaders. Who or what do I want from the congregants that attend Center for Practical Spirituality? I want for you to also lead others to knowing themselves. We want for others to also embrace their truth of being the way, the truth, and the light. Knowing not that your bodies are the members of Christ. 1 Corinthians 6:15. And what does Christ consciousness mean? Love. We have to go beyond the square, the box, the borders that we've been placed in. It is time to bust out of that and for us to go forward. For us to go forward and and all of us are redeemed already. We don't have to continue to go down and say, oh, I can't. No, yes, you can. I can, I will, it is done. And that, goodness gracious, do you know that you have everything that you need so that you can do the impossible? Because everything is possible as long as you simply do what? Believe. So when the mind can conceive it, okay, you conceive it in the mind, believe it in the heart, achieve it with your hands, you can also receive it in your whole entire being. And I want for all of us to remember that. Ladies and gentlemen, go Spurs, go. What can I tell you? They have done a phenomenal job. And 4 more. And, more importantly, I want for you to understand how you are making a difference in your life. How you are evolving on a daily basis. how you can simply have the impossible because you are possible, how you can seek, ask, and knock, and it will be opened, it will be given, and you do receive. FYI. Because according to a man named Jesus Christ, he says, you will do greater than I. Because you are. You are the Christ. The Christ in us, through us, and as us. It's time for us to go beyond the limits that we were all placed in, that we were all brainwashed to be in. It is time for us to just go beyond. It's like, what can I tell you? I mean, we are in a brand new territory. And the impossible is made possible. And I'm talking about like that. Within seconds. Within minutes. Be careful what you ask for. It's no longer, be careful what you pray for because it might come. No, be careful what you pray for because it will be here. And the turnaround time is faster than you know. So, with that being said, it's kind of like I pray that all of you are, continue to know thyself and know for sure that you are the way, the truth, and the light, to perfection, to love, and to guide others to being leaders. He didn't want followers. He wanted to make leaders. Leaders of love. Leaders of joy. Leaders of success. Leaders of the impossible is made possible. With that being said, please hold your tithes, your offering, and your prayer requests. If you have any special prayer requests, please put them into into the thread, and we'll go ahead and we'll be praying on it. And at this time, I'd like for us to hold our tithes and our offerings in our hands, and for us to say, divine love in us, as us, and through us, blesses and multiplies all that we have, all that we give, and all that we receive. And so it is. And so it is. Well, ladies and gentlemen, when's our next game? Anybody know? Wednesday, I think, if I'm mistaken. Pónganse listos. Ándale. Let's go ahead. It's kind of like some people have their candles out. Some people are praying. Some people are doing rosaries. Some people, just pray. Oh my goodness, it's so wonderful to be here in San Antonio, Texas, and to be experiencing this once again. Oh, I will never forget, several years ago, whenever we have done this, and it's like, it is just on fire. Last night I couldn't even sleep because I could still feel the energy buzzing. I mean, it was something just unbelievable. It was so wonderful, and la raza, what can I tell you, man? La raza, fregado, sananto. It was just too much. But I am so proud. I'm so happy to be a San Antonian. And even according to what I was told in Pearsall, Texas, in my little hometown of Pearsall, Texas, they were also doing the circling and the honking and coming out and everything else. I was like, yes! I just love it. What can I tell you? Ladies and gentlemen, I absolutely send you love and light, and just know that I love you very much. And go, Spurs, go. And I just want the very best for each and every one of you. And so thank you so much for being here. And on Wednesday, make sure that you're wearing your Spurs stuff, most definitely. I actually put on my little, I took them off for a few minutes, but I actually have my silver tennis shoes on, by the way. Silver tennis shoes, yes. Silver and gold, silver and black. So I've got that on as well. Anyways, may you have an absolutely wonderful week. May the power of the Father, the love of the Son, and the freedom of the Holy Spirit be with you today and always. And so it is. I'm ready for a miracle. I'm ready for a miracle. I'm ready for a miracle today. I've got my mind in tune for one. I'm ready to experience one. I'm ready for a miracle today. My mind is open, ready to receive it. My heart is opened all the way. I do accept a miracle. I do accept a miracle. I do accept a miracle today. I do receive a miracle. I do receive a miracle. I do receive a miracle today. Very good, very good. Yay! I love you guys, and I'll see you next Sunday. Bye.